Good morning, folks. This is the Day Trading Realtor. Here is my next week's outlook on the S&P 500 index. This is the cash index that we're looking at. I'd like to talk about the S&P 500 because it consists of 500 major stocks in its index. So this is a more accurate of the trend. Since we are talking about the cash index of the S&P 500, this outlook can be viewed and used by the stock traders as well. So let's get to it. I mark off some levels in here. So the S&P 500, the reason as of Friday is trying to break through the 2856 and 2882 resistance area. So, and then they're testing this, and then they have a resistance and then pull back, and then we're trying to rally up again. I think this time for next week, I believe we should penetrate it. Okay, but before we're talking about actual next week's the day-to-day outlook, let's take a look at this. So what we hear is we have 3260. Anything that if the price break above this, I consider this going to be bullish. If price between 3260 and 2882, I consider this area being neutral. It can become bullish, it can become bearish, it can turn both ways. If things that are, if price are below 2882, I consider this is a bearish area. So we are at the bearish area, even though the recent trend has been up, been rallying. Okay. So for me, the downside, I would say that to confirm the bearish trend, if it next week it come down and break this resistance, let's say 20 or support area at 27, 29, 28 area. Once it come down, I believe that the bearish trend will be continue toward the downside. But personally, I think that this market next week, we're going to be come up and try to fill this. There's a gap in here. There's a gap in here. I believe this two gap needed to be taken out because they are so close now. So this gap, this point right here, the low of the for this day is rounded up 3,000. So if we see the index printing 3,000, this gap is closed. So there's a lower gap in here, which is 2901. So I guess that next week's before Wednesday, I would assume that this gap will be taken out already. So we touching 20. What is this? 2879. That is right below 2882. We tested on our way down. We tried to fill the gap, but we didn't, and then it continued to go down. So first time we test the gap, it didn't even push it above it. So this time I think it'll push it, and then if the momentum pop, most likely will carry us to 3,000. and both gap will be closing after closing, and also psychological level at 3,000 is something major that that we need to cross over. So I would believe that the sell off will come right at this point at the 3,000 mark. We will look closely, when it reaching this level right here. And also, if you're looking at the Fibonacci level from the top to the bottom, 61% is 29. 62% is 29, 41 or 42, and 76 is 31, 18. I don't think the market will come up there at all. I mean, if I am using the retracement, the gang retracement, Fibonacci retracement to trade this market, the 50% and 61% level, this is the area all the short sellers are trying to ambush. We're gonna try. They're way, and then come up in here. They're gonna do all the major selling in here, and then hold the top, and then wait for news, and then we'll push it down. So, like I said, 3,000 most likely will be the point. Will be the point to start, accumulate, trapping all the bullish people in here. We already have there's one swing up, two swing up, three swing up. So all these people will be trapped, and then once it go down, it might actually break this low. So we shall see. But for the moment, this is where we are at. Now, as far as Monday wise, I will be most likely will be on the buy side. I believe in a few hours the Sunday night section will be open, and the market most likely will come down testing in this, and then maybe if they got the guts, they will push it up and try to get rid of this high, because on the future this is going to be higher. Let's look at the future chart. See, on this day, this is Thursday's action. I think that the high is 28.36. I have a major resistance at 28, 38 and 40 area. So I would say that at nighttime they're gonna try to push and clear this action right here, 28.40. So Sunday night section before we open on Monday morning at 6:30, I would say that this is going to be the goal for them to push and clear this. And on Monday on the in the morning sections, I'm going to try to be a buyer mostly. And I think for the next few days, it's going to be, for me, the ideal situation will be coming up above 2,900, test 3,000, and then I will say I'm going to try to sell in there. I might even consider holding overnight position at when we're reaching 3,000. So you see that, like for example, right now I'm trading the ES, and I'm doing it on the micro ES, which is 1/10 of the ES value, because I figured that with nowadays volatility being so high, $10,000 account is not good enough to trade this type of volatility. So I'll reduce it down to 1/10 of it. So imagine that if I have $100,000 in that account, then my goal at that time, it will be similar to what I'm having right now. So when the market come up to here at 3,000, I will definitely will hold the ES. People that with a lot more money than I do. This is going to be the 29,300. This will be the area for them to ambush this market. They're going to try to sell, try to contain this market, not go beyond 3,000, and wait for some kind of bad news and then start to pushing the market down. And when they're on their way coming down, the next area, for them to look at is this right here, the 27, 29, 28 area. This is going to be the support. So this low is 27, 27. So if we break below this, the market structure will be changing. We no longer have high, low, high, low, high, 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 high. So once we come up, we actually have a high, high. So we're going to come down. We'll be changing the structure. Hopefully, if it come down to 2027, so break this low, then this low is lower than this low. So the market structure is changing. But I am a very short-term trader, so I am using this weekly outlook to kind of gauging on what I should do on a daily basis, intraday basis. What is my favorite? What is my favorite? What is my chances of being on the correct side, very short-term wise? What is the short-term trend? Is what I'm trying to be at. Okay, this is Sunday, April 26, 2020, weekly outlook. Thank you.